Nope, not yet.
Was having internet issues earlier
They
today.
click the go live button. It says we are live now. 6:31. So I was 30 minutes early last week, and I'm a minute late this week. See what happens when you go out of town?
Not 6 o'clock. Not 6 o'clock or time.
That's what happens when you go out of town.
Gotta have somebody keep us on track.
All right, let me get us.
Somebody's got to keep them on the street.
Let me get us a watch party going here.
Trying to resync my computer's not working.
So Shane drove all the way to New York, and it's hot up there, isn't it? Are you there? I don't know if we can hear us anymore. Shane.
All right, I got you.
All right.
I had one back there, everybody specific.
So drove all the way to New York,
Yeah.
and it's hot, right?
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing sitting in your truck enjoying the AC?
Exactly. That's the only place I got in. I like air conditioning.
Yeah, we all do. So you drove all the way up there. You drove all the way up there, and you don't have any AC in the house you're at?
No, it's New York. It's up.
It's hot. It was 112 in there last night, I think.
Holy cow!
It's upstate New York. You don't have air conditioner up there.
You don't?
No. You only need it 2 weeks out of the year, and he just happened to pick the 2 weeks he needed it.
Well, every time I've been to upstate New York, we had air conditioner.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I
I
don't
guess
know.
that's first world problems.
I don't know why they think they don't have no air conditioning.
They can put it in bags because they got it the other 50 weeks of the year.
Yeah. I hear you. Ain't done anything but storm off and on all day today. Ran storms all day. Put my rainsuit off and on 22 times. It's been less than pleasant.
So are you on the way back to the house now?
I am. I'm on the way back to the mansion over here.
You just putting in a late day today?
It was built in 1946.
Okay.
Out of
We gotta get his
trees.
volume up
Somebody,
somehow.
Somebody put some stain on, stacked them up, and called it a house.
Yeah. I understand that. There's a lot of, I guess, older architecture up there. It's beautiful up there, though. I've spent a couple summers up there.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Russ, how about now? Is volume any better?
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
Yeah, the little place we staying in, man. I mean, it's sitting right on the point on the lake. It's a beautiful place. It just, I wouldn't be complaining at all if we had air conditioning.
I got you.
But it's a little too hot for me.
No,
not
they can't
having
hear
air
me better.
Shane, you're going to have to talk louder.
Can you hear me now?
See if I can turn your volume up on this. That's as loud as it goes. It's just muffled.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Says your volume is really low.
Do this. Let's just have him call in and not do live.
All right, Shane, we're going to call you. And we're going to call you. I'm just going to end our... You can just drop off the Zoom thing. We'll just call you. You can talk. That way you don't have to wreck driving. Tell him to take his case off his phone. All right, give us 1 second, guys. We're struggling with Shane's audio.
Can you hear me now?
We got you now.
Is that better? Say something again,
Yeah.
Shane. All right, I'm sure they can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right.
If David can hear you, then everybody can hear you, I'm sure.
That is a fact right now.
David's dealing with some eardrum issues, it sounds like,
You got a urinary tract infection.
in his ear.
Urinary. That's about right.
Oh. Yeah, Dylan, he said glad with going without him. So Dylan's
Hey.
on here, so
You're more than welcome to come down here.
we got
Got
some.
a seat warm for you.
I guess we'll start straight in
Do
with
what?
Dylan Fulk's on here. He said he was glad to see that we could go on without him. So Dylan's been on us for the last 2 weeks, and he actually challenged David. I guess I should refer to him as the champ.
The champ.
I guess.
For the 1v1 showdown. David, the belt has not left the building.
The belt has not left. Well, it did go home. My kids wanted to see the belt, so
Did
I took
they?
it home and let
Okay.
them see it and brought it right back up here.
All right, so the rules this time was David could be challenged.
Yep.
But it was on his terms this time. So when you get back next week, Shane,
We got a fishing trip, buddy.
we got a fishing trip. Rusty Hook's live crew is going to have to get back together. I'll have to watch when I can while I'm at work, but you're going to be sweating. You've been sweating in New York. Well, when you come back, you're going to be sweating on Lake Wylie.
Sweating even more.
That's what I've heard. Everybody says talking about how hot it is on.
Hey, you know what though? Shane's never went without a drink or a bag of jerky in my boat, so
Yeah, next time we gotta have water, plenty of water,
don't
Yeah.
worry. We've already got that in order.
plenty of water.
Dylan says the belt will look great in his daughter's room.
And to be honest with you, the way Wiley's fishing right now, anything's possible.
Hey, wait a minute. I thought the lake was off limits.
He told me I could fish my night tournament.
Okay.
That's what I did.
All right.
But
David almost.
Did you win?
no, I did not.
David almost outed himself without even
No,
the polygraph.
he agreed to it last week, so I fished the one night tournament. And after that, I'm pretty good with it being off limits because I get to start from scratch
All right.
again.
So the deal with that is it going to be Wednesday again?
Whatever day Shane works out,
Okay.
assuming I make it through the week and everything's still good and we're all happy. Yeah.
David's on performance enhancers deal, and he's been taking steroids. So.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yeah.
there goes Shane for now.
Call him back. Upstate New York.
Yep. Man, that's a fact up there.
Yeah, so David, you dealing with a little ear thing going on. So you on prednisone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
so-
don't like it.
So Dylan, he's on a performance enhancer. So I guess you could technically suspend him for 80 days is your first violation in Major League Baseball.
Well, if he wants to wait 80 days, that may just play into my favor a little bit more.
All right. We'll have to get Shane to call us back.
There he is.
All right, try again.
The beauties of a cell phone.
Yeah.
Welcome to New York.
No AC or cell phone service.
Man, alive, I tell you what, terrible.
So how far of a drive was it from are you in Plattsburgh now, or where are you at?
I'm in Rouse's Point, which is about 25 minutes north of Plattsburgh.
Okay.
That's where most of the fishing goes on at. So probably only have to drive to Plattsburgh twice or three times maybe.
So you drove from, what was it, Clayton?
Yeah,
How far of a drive was that?
it's about 3 hours.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
New
about
York's
3
got a
hours.
little width in it.
I guess, well, that's like north to south, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's northwest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there any off limits on Champlain this week?
What do you mean?
Well, I guess the only reason St. Lawrence was off limits was because of Canada locking down the border. But
Yeah, Vermont. We're allowed to fish Vermont waters, but you can't go into Vermont by vehicle. You can't get gas on the water in Vermont. It's it's crazy.
tough to keep up with it. Well, I remember. I'm trying to remember where it was. It might have been on the Mississippi River where Brandon Palaniuk got DQ'd that one day because he went in Minnesota waters when you couldn't cull and actually culled a fish or something. The regulations are hard to keep up. Was that the Mississippi River?
It was. That was in La Crosse.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God they since changed that rule.
Yeah.
Dylan, I got to go into this pre-rig cream worm thing. You got to give a little bit more insider on this.
That's the one with the torpedoes on the front of it. You don't remember that thing?
Yeah,
Dude,
no.
what?
No.
Dylan said all he has tied on is this pre-rigged cream worm. Remember those things with the hook harness and it had two beads in the...
Is that like the original spy bait?
Two orange beads.
Two orange beads. It wasn't even it was just like a square knot at the top of the leader line,
So like the old
That's
do-nothing
right.
worms.
but it had a propeller on the front of it.
Oh, Lord.
That's right. That's
They-
sure did. And
yeah.
I grew up on the South Fork River with that thing, catching bass on it.
I bet you they'll still bite it. David said it was the original spy bait.
Yeah,
You're dialed all right, buddy.
yeah. Fire bait. That's right.
I don't know.
Good.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't wish anything terrible to happen to the South Carolina coast, but I could use a hurricane right about now.
I'm sure there's one out there somewhere.
There's one coming, but I don't know if it'll make it here or not. But
What you want a hurricane for?
I'd like some water, some fresh water.
Oh
Something.
no! Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Well, I was out. I had to go to Belmont today for work, and on the way back, I came the back way here,
Mm-hmm.
and there's plenty of water running. The South Fork looks mighty inviting right now. So
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I might do something I hadn't done in ages. In this 101, I might make a left instead of a right.
you really are lost then.
I'm not lost.
Yeah, do you believe that, Brandon? I
No.
don't believe that for
I
a
don't
minute.
either, not one bit.
Nah.
But in typical David fashion, he said he might, so he can get out of it.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I
Whatever.
might run all the way to the dam in the South Fork. You never know.
There's not a dam up there.
There's a water wall.
That's not a dam though.
Well, okay, I'm not getting over it in fiberglass.
I mean, you might be able to.
If a hurricane comes, maybe.
I bet Tommy Biffle would try.
You know what? And his boats are paid for.
Well, if it's cool, tell you that. If you're trying, I'm staying home.
You're just gonna get out and wait on the other side.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Man,
just,
no, I'm gonna stay on that side because he ain't getting across.
I might just borrow the old Big Earns jet boat.
That thing's for sale, man. Big
I
Earn's
know.
trying to sell
No,
that thing.
he pulled the plug on
Oh,
selling. He's gonna keep it.
He's gonna keep it.
His daughter talked him out of it.
I'll say you can't tear up Big Earn's boat.
That son of a gun right there buys and sells more boats than any one person I know of.
Nah, that's not true.
No,
Jeremy Cave does more.
Jeremy Cade probably has flipped more boats than Robin has. But no, a little bit of insight. So what I saw Friday evening. Now, mind you, this is the afternoon, but Wylie is starting to get that late August, early September. A lot of bait being chased on nothing out in the middle of no man's land. It's kind of tough. But there's a lot that can happen in a week and a half.
That's no good for me. I don't like that stuff. Oh, well, I like it when it gets really cold, but when they can move real fast.
I mean, the problem
I'm done
is
with that.
you can mark them.
Suspended stuff.
It's not. I mean, you're not going to throw a jerk bait and catch them. Wiley's not clear enough to throw a spy bait and catch them consistently. A lot of your herring techniques that you would think would work don't. The water's just not clear enough to make the fish. That you can't bring them to the surface. You can't catch them just under. It's odd.
Well, in my opinion, the lake's just not real good.
No, it's
period.
Not. It's not.
not what I have recalled from my 20 years of fishing it. It's not very much fun.
Doug Holt, the only AC Shane's got is in his truck.
That's right.
Shane,
that's why I'm sitting in it.
Shane, you need one of them redneck ACs that we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Cooler and a fan.
Yeah, man. Gotta get you
What?
one of them redneck coolers. Gotta get you a styrofoam cooler and poke a hole in the side of it, fill it up with ice. Put a fan through the hole and just leave the lid of it off.
Yeah, hell yeah, that works for me.
It'll work.
Y'all watch too much YouTube.
They call that a swamp AC.
Well, Shane, you want to dive into your practice at all?
Oh, hold on.
I've been.
So the St. Lawrence was last week.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know if he wants to recap on that.
I know Shane didn't do very well, but we still got to talk about it,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. I just never got around any big fish. I was making a really long run. I ran all the way across Lake Ontario
Woo.
to Oswego. I caught a few good fish over there in practice, and I just never got on what I thought was a good school of fish. When I go up there, I don't know enough about the place to be able to go catch one or two, out of 10 different places, like a lot of the guys were doing. I felt like I needed to find a school of fish, and I did. And I felt like I could catch 15 to 18 pounds a day. The first day, I just never had any big bites at all. The second day, I got 2 big bites and lost them both.
Uh-oh.
I mean, you know how it is. It's one of them deals where shoulda, coulda, woulda. I mean, if I would have buttered them, I'd have probably had 18 pounds the second day.
And those are smallmouth, right? I mean,
they were all smallmouth.
We kind of ate some crow because we said several times on this leading up to it that largemouth wouldn't play, and largemouth put Mr. Brock Mosley in third place.
Yeah.
Now he was a far shot from winning. I think there was 10 or 15 pounds between him and second. I mean, that was the Chris Johnson and Paul Mueller show.
Oh yeah.
But
the sad thing about that is if the weather hadn't have kicked up the way it did, Paul Mueller would have won that tournament.
Yeah.
But with Chris Johnson having the experience that he has on, and that's not taking anything away from either one of them. He just has a whole lot more experience in water like that than most of us do.
It
he
comes
went
down
out there.
to a home lake advantage at that point, really.
He went out there.
No, he did, but man.
I was looking at some of the short clips and the pictures, and they're a little bit on live on Sunday. I couldn't even tell when he had one on until Zona or Tommy Sanders mentioned that he had one on because of the waves. I mean, it looked like the ocean.
It was sporty.
And then I heard his cameraman was seasick the whole time. So
there was three of the guys. Cameraman got sick. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got to think about it. If you're just fishing or whatever, it's okay. But those guys are trying to look through a lens to a little bitty square, and it probably kind of messes with you a little bit, I would imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably like reading or looking at a tablet or something in the car.
Yep, that's right.
There's only one other person I know that could get seasick on a lake, and that's my mother.
I don't think those lakes count.
My mom does not do motion like that. That's not her thing. But
I don't know if those lakes count. I mean, they're as big as the daggone ocean.
I know.
It looks like it anyways. Might as well be.
I know, but man, I don't know.
You ever been up there?
I used to live up there. I've not been on any of the Great Lakes. No.
Yeah. I was gonna say
But I have been on the Atlantic Ocean, and to this day, have never experienced seasickness.
It's completely different. I mean, I guess technically we were on Huron that one day, but
yeah,
I mean, I've talked about it on here before, spearing waves and stuff, man, it's just completely different up there.
Oh, I know.
I learned real quick that a hydraulic jack plate doesn't just help you get up in shallow water. It's a lot for not killing yourself and sinking your boat in big water too.
Yeah.
Exactly right. If it wasn't for that thing, man, it'd be a whole lot more difficult to get around.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, my dual bilge pumps, automatic bilge pumps, and that big barge I have, they were working overtime while we were up there.
It
Well,
doesn't.
they were working overtime when you were driving.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't help when you stick it into every third one.
I only stuck it in one or two. But then,
Those two, you made them count, though.
yeah, knocked Shane's hat and glasses off.
Wow.
Shame on you.
Uh-oh, Puddin's in the house, Shane.
Puddin'.
Yeah, he even said Puddin'. He even called himself Puddin'.
The heck. There you go. Own it, Wheezy. Own it.
Charlotte Pest Control in the house.
Own it.
Yeah, and Jody says you're a celebrity. He's watched your commercial like 50 times now.
I've had a lot of people ask me about that now. It's just, I guess, did it get played on ESPN?
Constantly.
Yep.
About
Did it
every
really?
about every break. Yeah.
About the only commercial they had.
That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome.
That remote start feature on that generator is cool, but everybody asked me why you couldn't just walk 10 feet to start it.
Well, you can, but what if it's raining and you need to start it without getting wet?
I completely understand. I just thought you were
Then
lazy.
what? I mean, then what? Why should you get wet if you don't have to? That's dumb.
It's like spearing waves.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that is just plain dumb.
Well, I will say this. So, I'm playing fantasy fishing, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't live in a fantasy world, so I can't
Yes,
say.
you definitely do.
Why?
You live in a fantasy world every day.
Okay.
Anyways, so I had first and second, and wherever Micah Fraser finished, he's in the top 10.
Top 10.
And daggone it.
I
So I
know-
had both the Johnsons. I had Corey, Chris, Paul Mueller. So Corey made it to. So that's first, second, like fifth and seventh.
I noticed you didn't say Shane's name in there.
Well, I did pick a Shane.
A Shane?
Yep,
Which one? If you say LeHue,
I did
I'm going to
pick
hit you
LeHue.
here on live.
I did pick LeHue.
Wow.
He did really well there last year.
Shane, can you believe this?
Hey man, I had insider information. Talking
you
to Shane.
gotta go for the win. I get it. I mean, I if anybody would have asked me, I wouldn't have picked myself up there either. I probably wouldn't pick myself here either.
When I talked to him on Monday, before we did our little show, when it was just me and you, and we started at 6 o'clock like idiots.
Yeah, well, that
Well,
was
like
you.
an idiot, that was me.
I asked you, I said, don't we start at 6:30? And you said, I don't know, we're starting at 6. So, okay, you're the man, you're the tech man. I'm going to let you.
They took my stopwatch from me tonight, so I'm not running the clock.
Okay.
But after talking to Shane on Monday, I knew not to pick him, for sure.
No, we kind of, we
So-
covered that.
I did really well. If it wasn't for that dang Eufaula event, I'm in like the 98th percentile. I've actually, this is like the first year I've ever like really played. I'm like 900th out of everybody.
Dang.
I'm getting lucky, I guess.
Yeah, you're getting there.
I don't know who to pick this week. I guess so my strategy this week, I picked my lineup last night, but I'll probably end up changing it. So I had to pick some largemouth guys and some smallmouth guys.
Well, I don't even know what the buckets look like. Who did you pick?
So I picked, I'm trying to remember. So I picked Palaniuk because he always does good up there. I picked Seth Fighter because
Well, he fished around me all day today, so that might not be a good idea.
he did real well up there last year flipping milfoil, and he
Yeah.
on stage is very very open about how much he loves to do that.
Right.
I picked Kelly J. He's does well up there a bunch, and a lot of people aren't picking him, so that's kind of
Yeah, you got to do that.
you got to do that. And the E bucket was really hard for me, so I got Lee Livesey in there right now, but I don't know who I'm going to take. And then just to get past it, you know, still got some time. I have Chris Johnson on there right now in the C bucket, but I don't even know if his boat's going to work this week from the beating it took this past week. Because that's actually what his brother said on Corey. He said, you know, I made it to the mouth of the river and saw what was out there and knew I needed 27 or 28 pounds to have a chance to win. He said, so I just decided to play it safe and not tear anything up, and go largemouth fishing and have fun, and be able to fish how I want to at Champlain. So,
Right.
I saw a bunch of people pick Rick Clun. You know, Clun had 21 pounds on St. Lawrence the first day.
Yeah.
And I almost grabbed him in that C bucket, but you know, no knock on Rick, but he just turned 74 years old, and back-to-back weeks on lakes like that, I think I need someone a little bit younger. So.
Well, I tell you what happened to. I tell you what happened to Clun. Clun is Clun fishes the Canadian waters all the time, and you know that kind of, I think it happened to a lot of guys, where you know, you kind of had to start over again because we couldn't go over there.
Right.
And boy, I'm telling you, they patrolled that border heavy. The Canadian, whatever they are.
The Aqua Mounties.
Yeah, the seahorses. Yeah, I mean they rode the shipping channel. I mean they weren't playing no games.
Yeah, I saw him follow. I guess it was Micah Fraser, because apparently he was right on the border.
Yeah.
You could see them over his shoulder a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, and see that was one of the things that I was afraid of, because if you get over that border, man, I mean you're at their mercy then.
Right.
And the last thing you want to do is get locked up in Canada.
Or at least
So
putting it back.
I just stayed away from it altogether.
Right.
So I just, you know, it was one of them deals where I guess you just kind of pick your poison.
Well, you'll definitely get to pick your poison at Champlain.
Yeah, I just.
And if I had to flip a coin, I would say you're probably going to chase the green ones.
I'm gonna chase both.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna do both. I just, I mean, I caught plenty of green ones today. Just the size just ain't there. I mean, I feel like maybe if I would have really pressed it, you know, I could have maybe caught some more, maybe caught some bigger ones. I don't really know, but I was kind of disappointed in what I did catch. You know, no big ones to amount to anything.
Or
The thing about it is, up here, if you get 2 big bites a day, get around that 17-pound range. That's where you got to be.
right.
17, 18, 19. You get right around in there. You know, if you can catch 18 a day, I think you'll have a chance to win.
So,
I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but
you think those will be mixed bags?
I think the vast majority of them is going to be mixed bags. I really do.
Okay. So are the fish, you know, I've never been on Champlain, but I've read about it, and I've heard guys talk about it a lot. And I've always heard people say, you know, you go north to catch largemouth and you go south to catch smallmouth. Are they intermixed a little bit better now, or is that true, or is that just dock talk?
Well, up here, the majority of the largemouth live shallow.
Right.
and the smallmouth live like 10 plus. You know, you get around 8 to 10 foot, you can get into smallmouth, just all the way out to 30 or 35 right now. If you want to go catch smallmouth or chase a smallmouth, I guess you'd say. But I think it's going to take a little of both, to win this tournament.
Okay.
I don't think nobody's going to win it on strictly largemouth or strictly smallmouth.
Gotcha. And I know we were talking before we started. Vermont, you can fish it, but you can't go there by car, or vehicle, and
Yeah.
you can't stop for anything while you're there, right? So no.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. Like if you need gas or whatever, you're not allowed to get gas in Vermont, which is the craziest thing I ever heard. Yeah. I mean, they gonna let you run out or what? I don't get it, but
Is there any part of the water do you think it's going to hurt anybody, or?
no. We're still able to fish all the waters that that we normally fish. The only place anybody would have to get gas was if somebody run the tie, and it's all in New York, Ticonderoga.
Yeah.
So that really doesn't come into play down there.
That's where one of the I guess most memorable bass moments ever, when Timmy Horton ran down there and made
I'm
5
eating a
casts
pizza.
or whatever and came back and
I'm eating a pizza.
ate pizza the final day and still won by 12 pounds or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's changed a lot since then. It's just, back then it wasn't near as publicized as it is now. I think he may have had a hand in helping publicize that little deal, but
Yeah.
It's a lot different now.
So Plattsburgh's like right in the middle of the lake, right?
It is.
Okay.
If you run the tie, though, you're talking, it's about 70 miles down there and back. If the wind don't kick up, you don't die.
Well, it was pretty. It seemed like the weather was halfway decent on St. Clair until Sunday. And,
Yeah, we got real lucky.
Is it going to be the same
Yeah.
for Champlain? Or I know you were dodging thunderstorms today, but what's the outlook look like the rest of the week? You think any of the lakes not going to be fishable any of the days, or?
To be honest with you, I hadn't even looked.
Gotcha.
The weather up here changes so fast. It just, it changes from hour to hour, and you just don't know. I mean, we got real lucky over there at the river. It was crappy in practice. The wind blew. We had one good day, and then we got 3 good days for the tournament, which is, you'd rather have those days for the tournament than practice anyway.
Right.
But here, man, I don't know. This place is, the way it lays, it's just, the weather's goofy. At one end of the lake, it'll be raining and storming, and the other end's 90 degrees and the sun's shining. So,
What's the so I'm trying to remember. Milfoil is typically the main vegetation everybody fishes there, right?
uh-huh.
Are there any other grasses in the lake, or?
Oh, there's all kinds of grass. There's eelgrass, there's hydrilla, lily pads, reeds, there's pencil reeds, buggy whips, there's all kinds of stuff.
Man, you sound like Florida.
It
With smallmouth.
reminds you a lot of Florida. Yep, it reminds you a lot of Florida. But the problem with right now is the lake's down about, I don't know, it's down 3 or 4 feet probably. And a lot of that grass that's usually, got good water on it is matted up now. And the grass that should be topped out, is matted, but it don't have any water under it.
Gotcha.
And then the grass that's out there in 7 or 8 feet of water where you really want to be fishing is still 3 feet from being to the surface. So you gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta find if you're gonna flip milfoil, you gotta find the right patch, the right stuff. It's
Right.
just, you can't just go out there and just flip milfoil. You'll beat your brains in trying to get a bite.
So, I'm assuming since it's it's August, right? I mean, it's the end of July, so I might as well say it's August. I know the seasons up there are a little bit different, and I heard some of the guys at St. Lawrence say they were still seeing a lot of fish. Well, not a lot of fish, but some stragglers on the bed. I know you only been out there one day, but I mean, in your gut, are these fish post-spawn or?
Yeah, all these fish over here post-spawn. The water temperature 78 degrees.
Oh, okay. So, man, it's a lot warmer than the
Yeah,
St.
it's
Lawrence
a good
River
bit
was.
warmer than the river. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this water here is a lot more shallow.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of color to it versus the river over there, which is very deep and very clear. So.
Yeah, it's kind of surrounded by some bigger water too. I'm sure that stays pretty cold.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
You
I'm
all
wore
right?
out.
Man, you gotta quit yawning. You're making me start yawning.
I'm wore out, boy. I'm telling you that last week and sleeping in the sweat box last night didn't help nothing.
Weezy said that the whole cooler trick works. You better go get you one. Just don't go to Vermont to buy it, apparently.
The good thing is right now it's only 73 degrees outside, so.
Yeah, but what's the
That's
humidity
good.
like?
I don't know. I'm sitting in the air conditioner.
I'd sleep in the truck.
Yeah, I thought about that last night.
So here,
I got my sleeping bag in here. I can just lay this old seat back.
so here you staying
Yeah.
with same crew, Todd, Alton, and
Yeah.
Rob Dye.
Me
Anybody
and
else?
Todd. No, it's us. Me and Todd and Rob.
Gotcha. You talked to them today at all?
We're all sitting in the driveway right now.
Gotcha.
Looks like they're rigging tackle.
I was curious.
I don't know why.
I was curious if they did any good today or what lies they might
Yeah.
tell us.
Yeah, lies. Lies. They're all lies. So you just don't ask.
You guys eating any striper yet this week?
No, thank goodness. We did have some salmon last night. Big Guy grilled some salmon, and man, it was good.
I bet it was.
Did he
Yeah.
happen to catch it?
No, we bought it at the grocery store last night.
Mm.
Yeah, he's a heck of a cook.
That's important to have.
Can't fish a lick, but he sure can cook.
That's right. That's right.
So, Mr. Winters says open the windows and turn on a fan, and in the morning close the windows. So I guess bring the air in when it's cool and then lock it in there is what he's saying.
I get it. I understand. But last night it never got cool.
Gotcha.
It was still. I promise you, it was over 80 in there last night, without a doubt.
Yeah, us bigger fellas can't sleep like that. It's not any fun.
No. Well, see, Big Guy tied on a drop shot.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He's going after it tomorrow.
He's waving the white flag early.
Nah, actually, what if he found what he needs to find with largemouth?
Yeah,
He
I
might-
caught about a 2 3/4 pound largemouth on a spy bait today.
How about that?
Mm.
Can't go. He might be on Plan C already.
I don't know what he was doing.
Now is that the spy bait that we know today, or is that the original spy bait, the cream torpedo worm we were talking about earlier?
No, that was a Realis spin bait 90.
They just redid those things, didn't they?
Yeah.
They redid them.
Yeah. Mr. ICAS didn't pay any attention to it.
Again. Irrelevant.
Well, you said you didn't like ICAST. See,
There
stuff
goes,
was on
There
there.
goes Shane again. He moved.
Yeah, we'll get him back.
Yep.
Sounds like it's just as hot up there as it is here.
Cooler weather coming in tonight. A couple people that are local to the area.
Uh-oh.
So-
Sean Winters. Is that one of your kin folks?
That is, actually. It's my dad's cousin. I guess it would technically be my second cousin.
Got you. Is he up in New York?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Sean,
he's in the lower part of New York.
we do this in the shop.
We do it live in the tackle shop, Sean.
Yep. They actually we got an upgrade to the studio here. Dave is working on our logo back here on the back.
Yeah, I've been a little slack on that.
But,
I gotta get on that.
But I think Russ knocked out this wall and got us a good place for our camera to set up, just so that we can, I guess, have a bigger in studio,
Yes.
more personnel here. So
Yeah, it'd be nice to get everybody back in the studio. Then again, once fall comes, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to do?
there'll be plenty to talk about in fall. The Elite Series goes all the way to
That's
November
true.
this
They
year.
do go deep this year,
Yeah, so Santee is in October.
which will be interesting.
Lake Fork's is it in November?
Possibly.
And then I know FLW, the Toyota Series Championships on the Cumberland, and is it the first week of December?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we discussed.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot for us to talk about into December, and then for our local followers, all our winter trail stuff will get started.
Oh boy. I just hope it gets cold.
Me too.
Dad, we'd have to know about ice fishing to talk about ice fishing. Again, irrelevant topic for South Carolina.
I don't know anything about ice fishing except I don't ever want to do it.
You know what? I would love to come out here one morning on Wylie and run down the lake and try to go in a pocket and have to break ice.
I've done it before.
Well, yeah, like 15 years ago.
Yeah, Mill Creek, the back of Mill Creek froze completely over one year.
But what I'm saying is I would love nothing more than to have a real winter trail.
I turned around and left when that happened.
But why?
I don't know. I still caught them.
Did you not know the jerkum bait so well then?
No, I knew it, but when your jerking bait hits ice and slides 20 feet, it's kind of hard to catch them on it.
That's true.
I needed
true.
wax worms and stand-ups or whatever they're called.
Oh, smelt.
Smelt.
Smelt. Oh boy.
I was told that ice fishing was invented to keep healthy marriages, is what I was told.
Up there in the wintertime, that would not surprise me one bit at all. I mean, everything's frozen for 4 months out of the year.
That's cold. I got some friends in Minnesota, and they said there's two seasons. There's winter and construction season. From where the winter, they got to fix everything
Yeah.
that the winter tore up.
See if we can.
Try to get Shane back on here. Shanty. Down in here in the South, Russ, we call that a shack.
Mm. It's kind of like a she shed.
A she shed?
Kind of like a she shed, but a he shed.
The only she shed I've ever seen was on fire. On,
now you're
Oh, this is Shane.
now you're treading on thin ice.
what was that insurance commercial? Whatever it was, Progressive Insurance or whatever.
Cheryl's she shed caught on fire.
There you go. See, you've seen it too.
Yeah. Yep. He's not lying. He is, matter of fact, that's almost worth bringing my dad in here just to talk about, because
It sounds like he's got a patent that we need that he might need to get.
I'll tell you what, if he was smart enough to do it back then, he could have made millions.
Well, I watched him rewire a 130-year-old vacuum cleaner because they didn't want to throw it away. So
That's true.
I'm sure.
Easy. Easy. Yes, he did rewire a vacuum cleaner from probably the first Oric in the 70s.
Back when they were door-to-door vacuum salesmen.
That's right. I guess Shane's gone. He may have said enough with this tonight.
Ah, he'll come back. His phone's probably dead.
Yeah, his flashlight's been on all day.
Well, we can talk about some
and David Etheridge, you're right to a point. You should be in the deer stand if the ice is covering the creeks, but South Carolina, if you don't shoot in the first 2 weeks of the season, you're dead until the last 2 weeks.
Sorry, guys, we lost our Zoom meeting. Give me 1 second here.
Did you lose everything?
Yeah, the Zoom meeting closed because there was nobody on it, but we're back. Should be anyways.
Derek, how's the night fishing been? Well, if you would have shown up, you would know that it's just as terrible as it was when you quit doing it.
Look at my ugly mug. That's just the integrated cam. It'll be back.
Okay.
There we go. Now watch. Now it's going to get bigger. Ready?
Whoa.
Look at that.
There you go. No, night
On
fishing.
the fly.
Night fishing is it's different. I don't know. Wylie's kind of fishing odd right now. I mean, you would think the water's 93 degrees.
It's hot.
You could catch them on a big worm. Well, that bite's not great. There's people still catching fish on the bank for whatever unknown reason.
So I spent this past weekend on Santee at my in-laws' lake house.
Yeah,
We took the whole family down
You
there.
had your kids in an inner tube on Santee.
Yeah. So I fished Saturday till 1 o'clock or so. I was hoping we were going to catch the tail end of the mayfly hatch, but when we woke up Saturday morning, there was nothing going on.
Yeah.
No wind. I mean, it was dead still calm, and it was hot. So my father-in-law went out, I guess right around 6 o'clock. I caught one little 10-inch bass. He likes to catch brim too, so he caught some big brim on a beetle spin, which I hadn't seen in years, but that thing still works.
Hey, there's a little group of them that throw them in these night tournaments. All of them Gaffney boys, they come up here with their beetle spins.
But so I didn't go Sunday morning, and of course when I got up Sunday morning, the mayflies were hatching.
Sorry, honey, I'm going fishing.
Well, I spent a good bit of time idling around, and so much of that's on the lower lake, Lake Moultrie. So Santee is Lake Marion and Lake Moultrie together. So, I spent all my time on Moultrie. There's so much backwater there, and so much unmarked stuff that's a foot deep, a mile away from the bank. So I spent a good time trying to find some ditches and some deeper water where you can run in those places. So I feel like I got something accomplished. And then I spent about an hour off the bank idling around. I found some good looking brush piles and stuff, but I did notice the water temperature down there is 91, and I did notice that your depth finder is pretty much stone cold dead until you get in that 20 to 25 range. Now, a lot of those fish down there are probably catfish.
Little known facts about Santee, they do get out there.
Well, the lower lake, so Santee is the whole lake itself, especially the lower lake, is just flooded farmland, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
My in-laws have been there for so long that Santee Cooper actually purchased 300 acres of my wife's grandfather, who is passed now. They actually purchased 300 acres of his land to relocate people that were actually living where they were going to flood
in the lake.
Yeah, so they relocated them to that land. So I've been there a few times with my father-in-law, but it was interesting to take him and him point stuff. This is some farm, and this is it's wild to see that stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently there's a bunch of those old cattle ponds out in the middle of the lake is what a lot of those big fish get in the summertime. So
yeah,
that's what I was looking for.
They're down there.
I never found. Well, I mean, I found some pond dam looking things, but I never marked any big schools of fish anywhere. So
yeah. Joe, as far as visitors at camp, you'll have to take that up with Shane. I'm not. That's up to him. I don't think anybody can really stop them from doing that.
And then
He's still DOA.
so I got back Saturday around lunchtime, and ended up pulling an inner tube behind the old Phoenix for about 3 hours.
Yeah, how many gators your kids see while they were running in their
They
tube?
don't bother you.
No, they don't. But still,
A lot. We saw a lot, actually. I mean, you see them all the time.
they had a kayak tournament down there this weekend.
At Santee?
Yes,
I didn't see
Most
any
of 'em
kayaks.
fished up
they
the
must
river.
have been in Marion.
they were up the upper end, Low Falls packs
Gotcha. Yeah, that's up in the swamp.
Yep.
That's just about as far away as you can get
from where you're
from
at.
where we were. So we were down in Bono. Sorry, guys, we got a customer. So this weekend we start the Palmetto Boat Trail again. We'll be on Hartwell August 1st, and I've never been down there that time of the year, and all I can say is I know it's going to be hot, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, Joe, you'll have to take that up with Shane and those guys. I'm not sure if they'll take guys or not over there at their camp this week. I'm gonna try to get Shane back on the phone one more time. All right, Dave is coming back.
Well, last guy out forgot to lock the door, or last guy in forgot to lock the door. One of the two.
I can't get Shane back.
I don't know. He must be out of service.
But anyways, all right. So you're back. So I was getting ready to go into Hartwell. So Palmetto Boat Trail is getting cranked back up this weekend. So we fish August 1st out of Green Pond. That's the first one since I guess since they postponed everything due to coronavirus. So we go August 1st is at Hartwell, and then we fish back-to-back days on Clark Hill. So, but they're separate tournaments. So September 12th and the 13th will be on Clark Hill.
September will be good.
I hope so, man.
August 1 at Hartwell. Oof,
Yeah, it's gonna be tough this weekend.
it will be.
And
What did he say?
he just texted me. He said phone service went away. Is what he said.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'm gonna pick a river and go as far as I can and start fishing. So
Tugaloo.
it's off limits right now.
Oh well, I hadn't been down there in 4 years.
I've never been this time of the year, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I guess technically, since you have not been on the tournament waters during off limits periods, and that's fine.
I mean, it could be bad information. It's 4 years old. What can I say?
I've never been in August. I don't typically do well in August anywhere. I don't know anybody that really does down here.
No, August is kind of like hero or zero month. You do everything you know to do to fish big, and if you get 5 bites, you win. If you get 3 bites, you might win, or you could just straight zero.
Yeah. Regardless, it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
But then we come back in October. I think it's the first week of October for the championship
Well,
on Hartwell. It should be good by then.
the school and fish deal will be good, but I'm telling you, the backwater thing will pick up.
Yeah,
You get a little bit of cold weather.
Well, it's still going to be hot in October.
Yeah.
I was looking at the extended forecast here. I think we got like 15 days where it's forecasted over 90 degrees.
Lovely.
So it's going to be hot. And then the CBC, so I'll miss the next one because it's the same day. I'm fishing South Carolina side, so it's the same day as the first Clark Hill tournament, September 12th. That's on. It's actually on Santee, and then they come back. It's like I think it's October 10th. Is at Watery.
Yeah, I've got to determine what I'm going to do with that. We've qualified through North Carolina. I mean, you got to fish 2 now, right?
Yeah, so
it's
you
just
fish
flat
fish
2.
too.
You said October at Watery?
It's October 10th.
I might have to go to that one.
Yes, I already talked to Brett. He pushed my money till October 10th.
Well, don't say that out loud because there are others that haven't been so lucky.
Oh, I did it the exact when he announced it immediately.
Okay,
So,
well then you're good.
yeah. Just because I had a conflict with
Well,
the
and
Palmetto Trail.
this year's been a nightmare all the way around for tournaments. I mean, you can't really hold somebody to it.
Sure. I think all the cats are done, right?
Watery summer final was this past weekend. Max Price and Butch won at Watery summer final. And then, yeah, I think Norman may still be going on a little bit.
I think they're done. So they fished the last cat open this past weekend. I don't know who won. Reed.
You didn't go up Reed?
No,
right?
I was Santee.
Yep.
So Reed and Maurice, they finished second with 10 pounds. Reed said it was brutal tough. He said 11 pounds won, so it was not fun. He said it was by 10 o'clock. He said it was so hot and so much pleasure boat traffic that lucky keep his fish alive.
Well, and that's kind of I'm hoping this thing with Dylan. I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but I hope it rains that day.
Well, you're pretty good when it rains. So
I hope it rains that day, just because it'll keep the pleasure boaters off, because it hasn't stopped this year.
What's that? Pleasure boaters?
Pleasure boaters. I mean, everybody. There's a lot of people that are working remote, and I mean, kids are getting stir crazy.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot more boat traffic at Wylie.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, Nivens Creek, the landing, the one I put in at, you can't even use it.
Yeah.
Because there's, I mean, unless you get there well before sunrise, I mean, it is just so busy.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's just nuts. And there's only one little straight walkway there, so if someone ties their boat up to it,
It's locked down.
Yeah, you can't use one of the ramps, so it's just it's bad.
Big kayak tournament on Hartwell this week as well. I guess there's a Hobie Open there, maybe.
Was that on the weekend or is it through the week?
It's on the weekend.
Okay.
I'll try to see if I can't investigate that really fast with the
You
kayak
guys will be everywhere.
I don't know if they'll be everywhere.
Well, Hartwell is very large, so.
It is. No, Susquehanna River. Unless they got 2. I don't know who's down there.
I believe that. So we got a question. Have you ever been to? I think that's Joe Cassie is what we're trying to say. I have been to Joe Cassie. I've been a couple times, and you ever been to Joe Cassie?
I have not.
Man, it's one
Never
of the
been
prettiest
there.
lakes I've ever been to. There's like 7 or 8 waterfalls that dump into it. It's got a bunch of trout in it.
And it's got trout eaters in it.
Yep.
I have heard that.
And it's got all 3 species. So it's got largemouth, spotted bass, and smallmouth in it.
Yep.
Gin clear water, obviously, it's being fed by waterfalls out of the mountains, and it stays cold, and it's deep.
Yeah.
And
I've heard lake trout in there.
I don't know if there's lake trout. I know there's brown trout and rainbow trout. They're stocked.
Yeah. I've heard. I don't know for a fact. I've heard that there are some lake trout in there, but
So actually,
most people down here don't know what a lake trout is. So.
every South Carolina record except for largemouth, smallmouth, spotted bass, and both trout species have come from that lake.
Huh.
So I've been there in the winter, and you have to catch them on a jigging spoon because it's so deep.
Yeah.
And when you find those schools of big spotted bass out there, they'll knock a backlash in your reel when you drop a
the way
spoon
down.
on them. Yeah. It's wild.
Sounds fun.
You catch 4-pounders after 4-pounder. I mean, it's nuts. But I mean, you got to find them, obviously. But
yeah.
So okay, so there was a tournament there this past weekend. I guess it took 10.5 pounds to win. So funny story there. First time I went there, my wife and I, it was just my wife before we had kids, and she wanted to see the waterfall, so we went. Well, she slept most of the morning because it's far. It's a far drive.
Oh yeah.
And when I got there, I found schooling fish, and they were trout. Trout were schooling. I was catching trout on a
spook.
On a spook, yeah, zero spook, not a big one, like a puppy.
Yeah.
And or I'm sorry, a spook junior in bone. The first one I caught, I was like, "What in the world is that?" It's a rainbow trout.
Yeah. Did you see the brown trout picture that was posted supposedly from Big Allison Bridge on Wylie?
I didn't see it. It's a big one.
I mean, it was a decent sized one.
Well, we had a lot of flooding this past winter, so
Where's he going to come from?
I don't know. South Fork River, man.
Walk on the land. Wow.
I mean,
I'm gonna have to try to find that.
yeah. So 9.7 is the state record smallmouth, is what we're getting in our comments here. So it came from South Carolina, anyway. Is that South Carolina or North Carolina? But it came from there. I've been down there throwing big giant wake baits and swim baits. There was like a fishing DVD that came out there for a while. It was called Southern Trout Eaters, and a lot of it was filmed on that lake.
Yeah. August 1st and 2nd, they have a choice of Hartwell or Kiwi.
Well, I can tell you where I would be fishing.
If you say Kiwi, I ought to slap you. I was gonna say Kiwi. I've been there a couple times, and it's a rather interesting pond.
I'm not a fan of that place.
I'll tell you one person that does love it.
Who's that?
Randy Childers.
Yeah.
He wins a lot down there.
Yeah. So for the guys that are just tuning in, so we lost Shane's audio. He's out in the middle of nowhere in upstate New York. Believe it or not, the further you go away from the city north, the less whatever you want to call it, populated it is. It's actually really, really pretty up there.
Yeah.
So Shane was coming off a not so good finish at St. Lawrence. Today was his first practice day on Champlain. He chased largemouth. He said he caught a good bit, but not much size. And what else we covered tonight? So we got Palmetto Trail we talked about, CBC we talked about, the cats are done. You were teasing me a little bit about
yeah, Chris. Yes. Yes. Chris was there.
You were teasing us a little bit a couple weeks ago about a potential Rusty Hooks winter trail here on Saturday on Lake Wylie. Is that still a possibility, or?
There was a discussion about it. I haven't put any more thought into it.
So what would you need to get that going? Would you need like a tournament director partner or something?
I mean, that. Funding would be great.
Funding?
But if anybody wants to choose to sponsor some of it, yeah. But no, there's definitely talk about it. I mean, Mike Stone's got his Sunday winter trail.
Right.
But there is room for a Saturday winter trail for the guys that attend church on Sunday. Put their priorities in order.
Sure. I was always told by Mike that the reason he fishes on Sunday is because Mike's in landscaping, and Saturdays
there's rain day. Yep. And there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I've thought about trying to approach him about doing a split Saturday and Sunday like they do at Norman.
Sure. And
incorporate both and have a 2-day fish off, so it's not so much of a jackpot.
Sure.
Hey, we caught 22 pounds. Do it twice in a row, and then you'll be impressive, kind of thing.
Well, we could, you're talking about sponsorship. The only sponsors that we get in the other winter trail are entry fees. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got a.
Russ just said he would fund it.
Well, I know. If I brought it to him, he probably would.
Well, you didn't. He just volunteered.
He and I have not discussed it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal.
We'll put something together.
I'll make you a deal.
What's that?
If you want to run it, I'll help you do it.
I'll tell you what. Well, I don't know if that'd be fair. we'll discuss that one off air.
All right. Now I can't kick Reed. Reed and I'll fish it together, but I'll help you run it.
And we'll discuss further details off air.
All right.
Yeah, I'm game for anything.
All right.
I mean, when I started the store, the goal was to make Lake Wylie great again. Tournaments and fishing.
Do you have anything? I know you, Mr. Seymour Butts, logged into.
You had to bring that up.
So there was a Lake Wylie. What wasn't Lake Wylie? What
South
was it?
Boating Boating and Fishing Alliance. It's not. It's public, but it's not public yet. In the next couple weeks, I will have the current standing CEO of the alliance here to discuss it in person. But all I can say is it's big. It's going to be big. There's a lot of big names behind it.
Okay. What do you mean by big? What is it?
Okay.
Is it a stocking program? Is it a habitat program, or what?
It's a voice.
It's a voice
for all fishing and boating people in South Carolina.
Okay.
The goal is to rewrite legislation to make boating and fishing better in South Carolina.
Okay.
There's a lot of industry in South Carolina related to boating and fishing that people don't realize.
Yeah. Well,
people don't realize
economies around Santee. I mean, those
they've taken a hit.
Those small towns on the canal, the Virgin Canal connecting the two lakes. I mean, that's their income.
There's a lot. I mean, but again, it's not just there. It's here. It's Hartwell. It's all the lakes.
Sure.
I mean, right now Neil Paul's doing a great job with Visit Anderson, getting big tournaments there,
right,
and bringing in revenue for Anderson. And it's helping the state, but if the state wanted to put a little bit of extra effort into their fisheries, they could create bigger and better things.
Right. Okay.
And so again, without divulging a whole bunch about it.
Well, apparently there's going to be a big meeting in North Carolina too about a stocking program for. Is it Lake Norman only, or do you know anything about that?
Not a whole lot of detail. I know they're wanting to put F1s in Lake Norman.
Okay.
And again, Michael Fox kind of has been putting a bunch of that stuff together. There's a couple of guys up there pushing for it. And I've talked with a person who's pretty knowledgeable. He is a biologist in North Carolina. He's a pretty smart guy about it. And, stocking's great.
Right.
Okay, we've had this discussion, and I've said it multiple times. If you stock a lake with F1s, that's not the only answer.
Sure.
It's a start to fixing a problem, but there's bigger problems in these lakes as far as cover.
Habitat, something for the fry to hide in. I mean, that's the biggest thing out here now.
If you look at every Great Lake in the country, what factor do they have that we do not?
They have some type of shoreline cover, be it grass, laydowns, something.
And so when you ride out here in late April, early May, and you try to look for fish, garden fry, and you're not finding fry.
Yeah.
And you're not finding fish, garden fry, and then the fry you do find circling around a dock pole that's this big with nowhere to hide.
Sure.
That's part of the problem.
Yep.
And so the solution is not just stocking. Stocking makes, sure, you'll have F1s. But in South Carolina, our fish, the biology of our fish is like 87% Florida strain as it is.
I didn't know that.
It is. That's straight from South Carolina biologist. Standing in a meeting with him. That was his answer.
I did not know that.
So if we already have the genetics, it doesn't cost a lot to put some structure in the lakes.
Right.
It would not take a lot to sit down with Duke Energy, Santee Power, all these people that, and work out a solution that works for everybody.
Well, I knew Santee was all Florida strain, but there's, the spotted bass are here. I mean, they're here to stay, right?
They're not going anywhere. But again, spots do one thing, largemouth do another thing.
Yeah.
So if you create the cover for the largemouth, you don't lose the largemouth just because the spots are here.
Well, the spots are definitely going to eat the fingerlings you stock.
That's right. Well, you take Norman, for example. You got hybrids in there.
Yeah.
They do one thing. They eat.
Yep.
That's why Norman, the argument they have is, okay, there's crawfish, there's bluegill. Yeah, there are. But how many of these fingerlings that you put in are going to survive making it past the hybrids?
Well, I've had plenty of spots. spit up other little 2-inch spots in my live well before. So I know they're eating each other.
And yeah, my dad brings up a valid point. White perch.
Yeah.
They need to go.
They do.
We might have a Rusty Hooks fall, winter.
Well, I can tell you right now, my little guy's been thinning the herd this year.
We have been too.
Yeah.
The little bit that I've snuck out with them.
And the cat fishermen are doing their part too. So.
But are they?
Well, I can tell you this: the catfishing boats that I've pulled up on after I've got 2 live wells full of perch have taken every one that I've.
They
got.
do. They love the bait, but again, if you saw the catfish that are in here now compared to the catfish that were in here 10 years ago.
We caught one perch fishing not too long ago.
I mean,
my son thought he was hung up. And
you've seen pictures of what I'm catching off my in-laws' pier.
Yeah.
And then you see pictures of what I'm catching, throwing a big spoon and other things.
Are perch considered game fish?
No, they are not.
So you can sell them?
They're not game fish, but because it's a gray area.
Okay.
Technically, you're supposed to have a commercial license to sell any sort of fish.
Well, you got a bait license, right? Something like that.
No, you don't. To sell bass, minnows, crab, you don't have a license to sell. I mean, it's a very gray.
I was just curious if you could sell perch for bait. Is what I was getting at.
We won't answer that question.
I was just curious.
On the record.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, perch, it's a $50 license.
Gotcha.
It's one phone call and $50 license.
Well, I know the catfishermen are always. I mean, when I say we have given the catfishermen, they've watched us sit on spots and just smash them.
The only thing that I don't understand with these catfishermen is they go to these spots to catch bait, and then they turn around and leave the bait to go catfish.
Not the guys that they've come up beside me. I mean, they got spot lock and everything too.
Listen. The electronic systems on those boats it's insane.
One of the boats was wrapped. They had power poles and everything. I can't remember what it was called.
Stormcat?
No, I've seen that boat. It's got red power poles.
There's like 3 or 4 different wrapped boats.
But anyways, he pulled up beside me. He said, "Hey, you're not bass fishing?" I said, "No, we're just out here having fun perch fishing with my son." He goes, "What are y'all doing with all those?" I was like, "Give them to the Raptor Center for the birds of prey to eat." And he's like, he goes, "You got any extras?" I said, "Well, you can have every one of them," because I found out
they don't take them
they
frozen.
won't take them if they're frozen.
Yeah.
So we loaded him up, and I had 2 live wells jammed full of them. I mean,
it really and truly.
But he started catfishing right there. He caught some catfish while when we pulled off the spot.
We pulled up the other Friday night. There was a guy catching perch on a spot, and I eased up and asked him, I said, "You mind if I bass fish here?" He said, "No, come on." Threw a floater spoon out first cast to catch like 18-pound blue cat.
Yeah.
I said, "You need this?" He said, "No." And then he leaves. And I'm like, man, you just left the fish to go, find new fish.
So Josh McGregor just said they worked with Santee Cooper about 8 years ago about stocking bass and eelgrass, and it was a nightmare. So they actually let us and helped us plant eelgrass. Then they sprayed it a few months later and killed it all. Well, Josh, I can tell you this. On the lower lake, I found 3 good-sized patches of it on Saturday. So
I talked to somebody who's from the lower part of the state and said that they'll plant eelgrass and then they'll replant other eelgrass and come back and spray this eel. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know if it was planted or not, but where I was fishing, the water was kind of dirty. You couldn't see it, but when I picked up my trolling motor, it was all over it. So, and I did it in a couple places. So, it might be a nightmare, but there is some in there still. So we'll never have it up here.
Well, again, water willow or gator grass would probably be the best solution for here.
I better not say this on the air, but I don't know if you've looked at the backs of the pockets that are all stilted in, but it's there.
I know it's getting there.
The bad thing is it's really far away from good spawning habitat. So
it is. It's a start.
But it's going to stop a lot of the silt that dumps into the lake now. So,
well, and that's another big thing that I've brought up is the fact that, you know, Lake Wylie, if you look at the back of Crowder's alone, that point's grown 200 yards in, what,
shoot,
9 years?
We used to ski back there when I was a kid.
I know. I know. It's kind of sad, really and truly.
I remember riding under the bridge on an inner tube when I was little.
And you had 10 foot of water.
I don't know how deep it was.
Well,
all I know is that I fell plenty back there and never hit the bottom.
Ted Mobley, you used to have 10 foot of water under that bridge. And now you're lucky to have 3.
Shoot. I don't think you can get back there. You have to go trolling motor only.
What are you talking about?
Well,
you can run it if the water's above 97.
Well, you got to know where to sit down.
That's true. For all you viewers at home, don't try that.
Yeah, you'll need a helicopter if you don't know where to sit down.
That's true.
To get you out of there. So, Jody, we did miss that. So there is a super tournament, FLW Super. Is it MLFLW, I guess, is what it's called. The super tournament is on the upper Mississippi. It starts Wednesday.
That explains why I have not heard from Ron Farrow this week.
Yep. So Ron's up there. I didn't look at the roster before we started, but there are some MLF guys that will fish that. And I did see that they are going to have live coverage. I think it's all 4 days now.
Okay.
Well,
they have to compete with bass.
Yeah. Well, and they did something smart. So Marty Stone is actually going to MC the live stuff. So.
Okay.
We'll give Marty a shout out. He's a local guy. Local-ish.
He's pretty good at what he does too.
Yeah. So you guys check that out. I think it's online only. Bass will be on ESPN2 again. I guess that starts Thursday. So Thursday you got 2 events to watch. Yeah, Ken, South Fork is bad.
Ken, at least with the South Fork, it's mostly all mud.
Yeah.
Crowder's is not mostly all mud.
It changes every year too.
It does. It does. I just know this. About 2 weeks ago, I saw 2 trees in the run to get past behind the bridge.
Yeah.
Mine aren't big enough. That's all I can say. I'm not willing to do it.
But I haven't been up there this year yet. We had that flooding this past winter.
Well, the channel's moved.
Well, it moves every year.
A reliable source told me it moved big time this year.
Dang. I knew flooding was bad when I saw the entire island of your showroom floor of gator grass floating in the middle of the lake.
Well, listen, there's still 2 patches that have taken root down the lake.
That's good.
In 2 different places, and we need to move more of it. That's all I can say.
Well, bring on the flooding.
The problem is when it did flood, there were people out there. I watched a guy for 15 minutes take a center console and a boat anchor, and the grass was drifting towards his house, and he took the boat anchor and threw it out in the middle of the grass, and then threw it in reverse. And by the time he was all done, he was all tangled up in the grass. had no idea what he was doing. So.
Well, hopefully that stuff will take root.
Well, the goal would be to get into a lot of these pockets, the main lake pockets.
It'll change a lot. Pickwick used to never have grass. It didn't have grass at all, and it was a huge ledge lake. It still is a huge ledge lake, but
now there's a lot of grass.
But there's a ton of grass.
Even when I was there, 2017 for the All-American.
Yeah.
The first day, I had a very good bag fishing ledges. Second day fishing co-angler, I drew a guy who took me back into a place that, if I was blindfolded, we were somewhere on Santee.
Have cypress trees too?
It had cypress trees the whole night.
Yeah, that was a long ride.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was a good ride.
Yeah.
Problem is, you sit there and you look, and the water line's a foot different on the tree, and it's like, you know what's coming.
Right.
And so then we leave there and go up the river, and it's grass everywhere.
Well, one of those Pickwick events, what's the Bass Cat guy? Older guy, always fish out of a pink boat. No, pink boat. Daggone it, what's his name? He doesn't fish the elites anymore. Oh,
Short.
that's it.
Kevin Short.
Kevin Short. No, I can't think of his name. But anyways, he won. An event on Pickwick. He's a shallow water cranking guy. He won on Mississippi too.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not Kevin Short.
It is.
Yeah, it is Kevin Short. Oh, who was I thinking of? I was thinking of the
He runs a pink
yeah, that's
bass
him.
cat.
I was thinking him was somebody else.
Let's see. He won 5 tournaments. Let's see
Yeah,
which
he
5.
won on the Mississippi. It's always square bill crankbait. On the Mississippi, I know.
Mississippi,
And-
Dardanelle, and
Yeah, Alabama Charge, Pickwick. Yeah.
Yep.
Kevin Short. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking it was somebody else. I was thinking of the
Bassmaster Series.
long time whiskey guy. What's his name? That's bad. I should know all this. I'm a huge fan of bass fishing. I can't think of their names. But anyways, that's where he was on Pickwick.
John Cruz?
No, John Crew's still around. This guy's gone too.
Oh. No idea.
Early times, not long times. Early times whiskey.
I don't know.
Early.
That's before my time.
Watch this. We're gonna Google them. Early times whiskey. You're gonna beat me to it.
– 2006, Kevin Worth.
Kevin Worth. There we go. It's bad, man. My memory's going.
Well, I don't know. It's going to be interesting times over the next, say, 3 to 5 years around here.
Think so?
I think so. I really do. I think there's a lot of things that you could see change.
Well, I hope that's the case. Those dang wake boats are
Yeah.
really bad.
No, I know. I know, and really and truly, if people looked into how much the fishing industry ties back to South Carolina, Strike King's home office is here.
Pure fishing's here too.
Pure Fishing, Z-Man, Falcon Boats. I mean, then you go Saltwater World. You got Sea Hunt. I mean, there's boats. Key West,
Where's Strike King's headquarters?
Columbia.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, that's Lou's too, right? Strike King owns Lou's now.
That's right. Now they got a warehouse in Missouri, I want to say it is.
Yeah. That's why Pure Fishing is too. Everything comes from Kansas City, which is in Missouri, believe it or
But still,
not.
all their corporate people are here in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And every company has a representative on the board. So
That's good.
It's I
Man,
mean Davey
that's big.
Height's sitting on the board.
Okay.
There's a lot of clout, not just in the fishing industry, but there's political players there too.
Well, that's where what it's going to take.
And so hopefully, if we get all the minds together, things at Santee can get better, things at Murray can get better,
Right.
Hartwell can continue to get better, and even little old Lake Wylie might even get better.
Well, that'd be good.
And I found out an interesting piece of information. Up until 2009 or 2013, they were stocking bass in Watery.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Found that out from Brett Collins, and they're talking about trying to get F1s put into Watery. Because if you notice, Watery's been on a downcline.
Yeah. Well,
It's been on a little bit of a downturn.
yeah. Well, that's because a lot of the big tournaments have gone there
And
around the spawn and post spawn. So
but again,
I know a lot of the fish we let go look healthy, but there is a
mortality rate. Yeah, no doubt. But again, if you're putting fish in and you're losing a couple,
sure.
you're still sustaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wylie, they haven't put anything into here except for white perch. And
Were white perch released in here on purpose, or were they invasive?
well, the way it was explained to me, was that they were put in here to control the threadfin shad population and replace white bass.
Well, they
They
definitely
were
replaced.
cheaper. They were cheaper and easier to get than white bass.
They definitely replaced the white bass.
But what they didn't realize is how invasive they actually are.
Gotcha.
And the guys that used to come out here to catch white bass were catching 2 and 3 pound white bass. Well, you might see a 2 pound perch in a winter, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
State record white perch come from this lake.
Well, and it could be broken again if they would. I mean, it's not a game fish anymore.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot. You know, if they put a moratorium on white perch and made it mandatory to kill every one you catch, just like they've done with the snakehead, you probably could get somewhere. But
I don't know, man. The white perch, you got to be out in the middle of the lake to catch them. That's the bad thing. The guys sit on the banks; they're not going
Listen.
to catch them.
this spring, when you're throwing a square bill, I can't tell you how many white perch I caught cranking a square bill.
Really?
Yes. And that's, I mean, fishing Stumpy Flats is the #1 place to catch them.
I've never caught them up shallow.
Well, maybe I'm just on a white perch bag most of the time.
You might be.
But, well, I guess Shane's not calling back in. So
He sent me a text that he has 0 cell phone coverage.
Well.
So
we will hopefully have him back in the house come Monday to get a full face-to-face recap. Dylan, if you're still around, maybe you need to show up Monday.
I'll send Dylan a text.
Okay.
I'll get him back here Monday.
And might even bring old Hambone back in here.
So there'll be 1, Shane, you, me. I think we can do it.
We could do it. And
Because Hamrick's going to have to video camera.
he is.
I'll promote from afar.
Yeah, well. Just don't get kicked out of Phoenix group.
I won't. I'm back. I'm back in there.
Okay. For now.
Yeah.
Well,
All right,
you got
guys.
anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. There is a new bait in the store.
What'd you get?
The Norman Speed N.
Well, there's a new bait right now. How many do you have?
More than you're willing to buy tonight.
Okay.
But yes,
That was a big player at the Classic this past year.
And I will tell you this: if I didn't have a little remodel project going on at the house,
Yeah.
we might not have any in the store.
I got you. They look that good.
They will play a factor.
Norman stepped their game up with their paint jobs too, didn't they?
A little bit, yes. Yep. So, stop in and see them. We're going to sign it out tonight, boys.
Yeah, we're coming an hour and a half. So
Rusty Hooks Live, where our hooks may be rusty, but our points are always sharp.
yeah, make sure and tune in to Bassmaster Elite Series this week. Check out our fellow co-host Shane Lineberger. Give him some good vibes up there. Pull him through the northern swing so he can get to the fall when he's
Back in some home territory.
when he's chomping at the whatever you want to call it.
The bit.
The bit, yeah, to get into some fall fishing where it'll be tough on the mega bag heavy hitters.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm ready for fall fishing myself. I used to hate it, but I like it. I love it.
I just like the cooler days.
I want to get away from this super hot suspended fish bite that we got going on now.
Yeah. All right, guys, catch us next week. We'll have Dylan here if we can get a hold of him.
I'll
I
twist
guess-
Scott's arm, get him back in here.
I guess you'll be fishing that week too.
Probably Wednesday-ish, sometime.
That's typically when we do it, right?
I know this. I want Chris to get back into town so I can.
Where's Chris?
He is vacationing.
Okay.
He's at Yellowstone.
I've never been. You ever been to Yellowstone?
I have.
I've
And
never been.
I've actually got another trip that's currently paid for out there. COVID slowed us up.
Cool.
So,
All right, guys. Like David said, I always screwed up. I'm
yeah. Just
falling over my words here the last couple of weeks, but catch us next week. I'll have this uploaded tonight on your favorite podcast player. Just pick one. I keep getting notifications that I think we're on like 30 different ones now or something like that.
Nice.
And
Like-
our international following continues to grow. So we've got followers in Germany, Ireland, Great Britain, and India. now.
India. Oh boy. Japan would be cool.
No Japanese followers yet.
Well, give it time. We'll get there.
Yeah, make sure and like us if you haven't.
Share it.
Share
Tell all
it.
your friends, your
Tell your
family.
friends.
Annoy them about it.
And sometimes David gives a giveaway every once in a while. I guess we got one coming up
We'll have
with
one.
the 1v1 showdown.
We'll have one for the 1v1.
Yep, so tune in next week to find out what that is.
I guess technically, if I win the 1v1, I don't have to fish again until I want to, right?
Yes, but that doesn't mean somebody can't challenge you.
I know, but I'm saying I could push it off to like October.
Yeah.
I know Jody's already fired some shots about Wylie in October.
Well, there's been a couple guys on here that
I know.
have called you out.
I know Josh Good wants to fish. Yeah, there's.
I don't know everybody, but I do know that that several people have. I don't want to say taken an official shot at the belt, but have made some comments.
I'm waiting for Hamrick or Seawright to try to come back around.
I don't think they're going to do it.
Well, Seawright, I'm gonna have to throw him under the bus. He made a comment about whether or not we know any real fishermen to Shane Lineberger and how he should be licking his wounds. And fortunately for Seawright, I went to bed last night. I got up today and saw it, and I had to tell him that I thought I knew some real fishermen until I beat both of them, and it only left Shane Lineberger.
Well, I don't take a shot at Seawright. I don't think he's on here tonight.
Well, Seawright's a good guy.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, we signed off like a whole 6 minutes ago.
Yep, we're
so
gone.
I guess we are gone this time.
Yep.
All right. So make sure you watch us on Facebook. Give us a like
Sean,
and follow.
Sean, we are not on TikTok. Can't be giving the Chinese too much data.
TikTok. Everything I've seen on TikTok is just like little dance videos.
Yeah, we're not on TikTok.
Are you gonna dance?
No. 2 left feet. They're both on backwards. No.
Maybe that's what the challenge should be. Whoever loses has to make a
Shane
TikTok
will win the
video.
dance off. Shane will win the dance off.
Why? Because it's just by default.
I'll just sit in the chair.
All right. So So sorry, complete sidetrack there. I'll have this up on YouTube tonight. Rusty Hooks Live. Favorite podcast player. I said we're over 30. So if you're iTunes, Spotify, Google, whatever you use, we're on there. And make sure and give us a like and follow here. And we will see you next week.